According to InterContinental Hotels, China will overtake the United States as the world's largest hotel market by 2025. For now, though, the United States is driving InterContinental's performance. This is where the company makes about 2/3 of its profits. And with us this morning is InterContinental's president for the Americas, Jim Abrahamson. Thank you for coming in and joining us today.
Good morning.
Now, you've got a number of brands under your umbrella: InterContinental, Crowne Plaza, Holiday Inn. Where in the pricing structure are you seeing the most growth?
Well, we're seeing growth across the board. This has been a demand-led recovery, and we're seeing occupancy levels continue to grow. We had a very resilient leisure customer that really carried us through the recession, but business travel picked up in the second quarter, and it's really had great legs to it. So business travel across all of our segments, but more importantly in the mid-scale, our Holiday Inn and what we've been doing to relaunch Holiday Inn. We've seen great results from that as business travel and leisure travel continues to recover.
But the pricing power, it sounds like, are still in the consumer's hands if we're not where we were pre-financial crisis in occupancy.
Well, we have seen rates begin to increase. About the middle of this year, we saw average daily rates begin to head to positive territory, and that's accelerated towards the end of the year. So we are seeing rates move up, and we continue to think that that trend and that momentum is going to be favorable in that area.
So you said on the business side, you are seeing some building of momentum there. Which markets is business traveler headed to?
Well, this has been a quality-led recovery. So quality markets like New York, Chicago, San Francisco, major urban centers are doing exceptionally well. In fact, here in New York, occupancy levels are starting to return to where they were pre-recession.
And are those American travelers? Are we seeing the benefit of people traveling from abroad?
Well, we're seeing more and more inbound travelers too. So business travel is obviously good, but most importantly, these are domestic U.S. travelers, business travelers that are back on the road. So
you sound optimistic. Are you optimistic enough to add to your staff right now? Are you hiring?
Well, when you see a demand-led recovery like this in our hotels, obviously as occupancies increase, we're hiring again. So this is a great job creator. And so it's got benefits to the U.S. economy as well. So we do see hiring on the increase at our hotel level. At the corporate level, like many businesses, we're trying to maintain and protect our margins. So we're not really seeing corporate overheads increase. But from the hotel perspective, clearly, more occupancy means more jobs.
Well, we led into this talking about, China eventually overtaking the United States. InterContinental you're the biggest hotel operator in the world by rooms there. Is it really just the potential spending power of that new consumer in the Chinas, in the Brazils, or is it just that you've reached a saturation point at home?
Well, it's multidimensional. The domestic Chinese traveler is extremely powerful right now. And so we've seen growth. We have about 150 hotels today. We have another 150 hotels in the pipeline. And most of those are in construction today. We'll open 12 InterContinental branded hotels next year alone. So it's growing quickly. We're also seeing, the secondary and tertiary markets begin to grow. And the Chinese government has recently called tourism one of their 4 pillars of their economy. So it's a definite shift in behavior, as well as infrastructure that's being built, airports, roads, high-speed rail. So it's a significant shift. But very importantly, we're seeing the growth of the outbound Chinese customer. Last year, there were about 3 million outbound Chinese trips. Only about 500,000 of them came to the U.S. We're going to see that grow over time.
Where are they going?
They're going to Europe heavily. And if you've been to Europe lately, you've seen the impact of the Chinese traveler. And we look at occupancies in London or Paris, there's a profound impact of that growing Asian dominance of that outbound travel. So we think having strong brand representation in China also helps that brand recognition when they go to Europe or the U.S.
And part of that confidence is to have the shoulder of the Chinese government, it sounds like, behind that tourism initiative. But talk to me about here at home. I mean, how easy is it to get financing right now for developers to go out and build new hotels? Are you at the point where you need to add to your inventory in that way?
Well, financing for new hotels is really in a tough spot right now.
It still is.
Yeah, credit is tough. Terms are difficult. And there's a regulatory environment that's in place that's preventing a responsibly run securitized loan market right now. Until we see that come back and loans moving off of banks' balance sheets, we're not going to see a broader recovery of the financing market for new construction.
When do you expect to see that? I mean, what's holding that up?
Well, the money is coming back in the market now for refinancing. So that's the first step, obviously. And that will cause some of these troubled loan pools to be able to start moving through the system, which is important to unclog, that backed up system. So we think that's the first stage. So the second stage will be when we see a more sustained recovery, when we see RevPARs, revenue per available room, start to achieve those pre-recession levels. That will start creating, the underwriting that's necessary to stimulate new construction. And only then we would hope that, we'll see some of the challenges in the financing environment begin to alleviate themselves.
Before 2012, before 2013?
Well, I think we'll see the refinancings really help a lot of these existing hotel ownership groups be able to refinance their portfolios. I think we'll see new development. Again, we are seeing limited new development, but I think we'll see it begin to increase 2012, 2013.
All right. Thanks for coming on and telling your story.